this morning, sun's a bit hazy. Checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Guys, we've done it. We're on the air with you again. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We're on the air again with the Emergency Management Associates. My name's Ron Tyler. Guys, we've had some earthquakes, okay? Paulette Hammond is here with us in the chat saying she felt like she was on the phone call with customer service representative, and I told them, I swear, I think I just had a real light vibration like an earthquake. You probably did. I don't know where you're at, Paulette, but we've had earthquakes around the United States and all around the globe as well. Now, I'm going to go back to the Philippines for just a few minutes here. I'm going to do that because we've had some earthquakes again in the Philippines, okay? Now, I'm going to take down I'm going to keep up the USGS map. I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam for the time being. Look at these earthquakes, guys. This is what USGS said we have had today. That varies. That is very difficult, okay? Why? Because USGS is not telling us the truth at all. Not one little bit. I'm sorry to say that, guys. I hate it. I hate it like a passion. When I have been on the air with USGS talking about it, they rarely show us the truth of exactly what is going on here. She says she's in Southwest Ohio. Guess what, Paulette? We've had earthquakes in Southwest Ohio. I'm going to show you earthquakes in just a few minutes. Stay tuned here, guys. You have had earthquakes in southwestern Ohio. You've had earthquakes in Indiana. You've had earthquakes in Illinois as well. All over the northern Midwest. Literally all over the northern Midwest. From Mississippi and Louisiana to the south, all the way up to Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. Literally everywhere. Unreal. Everywhere, guys. Maxine says, keep us informed. I intend to do just that, Maxine. Thank you for being here as well. Now, guys, let me show you this. Okay? Like I said, this is the USGS map here. What I'm going to show you now is the European map. This is in high difference to what the USGS is telling us. Completely different. Look at the earthquakes in the Philippines right now. Look at that. Close to 200 earthquakes here in the Philippines, just here in this area. Plus, we've had another 5.1 earthquake in the north part, Mindanao, Philippines here. That island you see here is called Mindanao Island. It's the largest island in the Philippines to the south of the Philippines. Largest island. Down here off the southwest coast of Mindanao, Philippines, we had a very, 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 very strong earthquake. Okay? They said it was a 7.8 earthquake. It came out as an 8.3 on Sunday. Guess what? They downgraded to an 8.2, an 8.1. Then they downgraded to a 7.8. As I pointed out on last night's broadcast, this earthquake was probably closer to an 8.2 to an 8.3. I'm not even going to tell you right now that it was an 8.5. It could very well have been an 8.5 earthquake. I showed you the details of what happened on Sunday. Showed it to you yesterday. Okay? This is what's going on today. Probably closer to 200 earthquakes here in the southern Philippines here. Literally all over. Now, guys, there is some damage. I showed you damage in the southern Philippines last night. There's more damage today. I'm not going to really go into that damage today because it's ongoing. It's ongoing. Maybe tomorrow I'll show you more damage. But tonight I don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's worth it. Okay? Now, there's a lot of damage. There's a lot of things going on here. Okay? Now, before I get going here, I want to ask everybody here that's watching this program today, make sure you're still subscribed to our program. Make sure you're still subscribed to our program. YouTube continues to unsubscribe people. Make sure you're still subscribed to our program. Right down below this video that you're seeing right now is a subscription button. If you want to know what's going on around the world in terms of earthquakes, disasters, and emergencies, and emergency preparedness, tune to our program. Subscribe to our program. When you subscribe to our program, right next to that subscription button, there's a little bell icon. Click on that little bell icon. That little bell icon will have a drop-down menu associated with it. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the air. Come on the air sometime after 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time every Monday through Friday. If something happens at night or in the morning at any time, 24 hours a day, we'll come on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. I monitor earthquakes literally all night long. I have an earphone in my ear right here. I tell you what, I find out what happens. If it's serious enough, we come on the air to talk to you about it. All over the world. We've had earthquakes in New Zealand. We've had earthquakes in the Philippines. We have earthquakes in Taiwan, Japan, Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. We've had earthquakes in Italy. We've had earthquakes in Greece. We have had earthquakes in eastern Turkey, the Syria border region. Literally, we have earthquakes worldwide. When that happens, whether we have an earthquake or even a volcanic eruption, we come on the air to tell you about it. On Sunday, We had a major volcanic eruption in the Kamchatka Peninsula. There's a volcano there that has erupted for maybe the 10th time in the last 5 years. The 10th time in the last 5 years. Shibboleth volcano. Shibboleth volcano on Sunday erupted up to 40,000 feet high, up in the stratosphere. Huge eruption. Huge eruption. We told you about that. Guys, when that happens, that ash that comes from that volcano, the carbon dioxide and the sulfur dioxide gas, toxic gases, go up into that lava plume, way up in the air, up in the stratosphere, and then from there, the jet winds up in the atmosphere push that ash and the toxic gas around the world literally 2 to 3 times. 2 to 3 times. That is what's happened with that volcanic ash eruption at Shibboleth volcano. And that was not the only volcanic eruption on Sunday. Klyuchevskoye volcano, also on the Kamchatka Peninsula, south of Shibboleth, also erupted, but to a lesser extent. Its eruption was about 18,000 feet high. 18,000 feet high, still a very powerful eruption that also spewed toxic gas and ash up in the atmosphere. But the jet stream did not take that toxic gas and ash like it did the Shibboleth volcano did. Okay, but that has happened. We still have ash flowing around the world, not just from Shibboleth. We have ash from other volcanoes such as Popocatépetl in Mexico, Fuego volcano in Guatemala, Cumbre Vieja, not Cumbre Vieja, that's in the Canary Islands, but I can't remember the volcano over in southern Colombia. We have a volcano, several volcanoes. I think we have 5 volcanoes over in the Indonesia area that are erupting right now, anywhere from 7,000 feet on up to 21,000 feet. Unreal, literally unreal. Those volcanoes are going to erupt and are going to still erupt, ongoing. We have about 41 volcanoes total around the world that are in the process of eruption right now. That's a fact. That's ongoing. But what troubles me the most are all these earthquakes, literally all these earthquakes here in the Philippines. All these earthquakes in the Philippines are what troubles me now. That's ongoing. Now, that earthquake up in northern Mindanao, Philippines here is a large 5.1 earthquake. Large 5.1 earthquake. That's a large earthquake. Large earthquakes do damage. USGS would have us think that this earthquake, 5.0 earthquake, are moderate earthquakes. Early last year, they reevaluated what they call the earthquakes. They still have microquakes, which are 0.1 to 0.9, tremors that are 1.0 to 1.9. We also have minor earthquakes, 2.0 to 2.9. 3.0, 3.9 are small quakes. 4.0, 4.9, they're calling light earthquakes. 4.0, 4.9 have nothing to do with light earthquakes. What is a 3.0, 3.9? They still call that a small earthquake. 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes do damage. Yes, they do moderate damage, not light damage, but moderate damage. Okay? Now, I'm going to preface this by saying this. Okay? Back in approximately 2014, Los Angeles had what they said was then a 4.5 earthquake. They called me. The Emergency Operations Center called me in Salt Lake City, where I lived at that time. They called me and asked me to come to Los Angeles. They said if I wanted to be there, they would have a telephonic ticket waiting for me at the Salt Lake City airport, which they did. I took a plane from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles that night about midnight. I flew to Los Angeles. There was damage all over Los Angeles. Literally damage all over LA. Guys, Plate glass windows all over Los Angeles flew out of the windows. Glass broke throughout Los Angeles County. Water mains broke. Gas mains broke, and I'm talking about petroleum gas mains broke. Natural gas lines broke also. Okay? Now, that was supposed to be a 4.5 earthquake. You tell me, can a 4.5 earthquake do that kind of damage? No. That earthquake was also a large earthquake. Regardless of what USGS said, that was a large earthquake. I can prove it. I proved it then, I'm going to say it again. It was a large earthquake. Moderate earthquakes do not do that kind of damage, not a 4.5. Moderate earthquakes can knock pictures off of walls. They can knock knickknacks and books off of shelves. They can rattle plates, glasses, and bowls in cupboards. If your kitchen cupboards are not child-proof, meaning a latch on the cupboard door, if that latch isn't done up, then the rattling of those plates, glasses, and bowls in your cupboard could eventually lead to those plates, glasses, and bowls coming out of the cupboard and falling down either onto the stove, onto the cabinets, or onto the floor and breaking. That can happen. But large earthquakes can definitely do that. I've seen it happen myself. Okay? Large earthquakes are 4.04 to 5.9. 5.0 to 5.9. This earthquake in the Philippines, they said was a 7.8 earthquake. It was not. I believe this earthquake in the Philippines was an 8.2 to an 8.3, and even possibly being an 8.5 earthquake. And as a result, we've had tons of earthquakes, close to 200 earthquakes today. Up here in northern Philippines here, we have another 5.1 earthquake, large 5.1 earthquake. Now, guys, they say this is near a town here, Caloocan, Philippines here, right here. Okay? There are all kinds of towns here in the Philippines, large and small. These towns here, when they have a large earthquake, they destroy property. The Filipino people, for the most part, unless they live in a very large town, most of the Filipino people don't have much money. When a large earthquake like this strikes, destroys their livelihood, destroys their homes, destroys their businesses. That's a fact of the matter. This earthquake today, this large 5.1 earthquake, occurred alongside a river. Many rivers are fault zones. Many rivers are fault zones. That may have been why this earthquake hit here near this river. Many earthquakes are fault zones. Linda Covington is here in the chat asking, did anybody in Florida feel the earthquake? I have for a fact heard, and I've had news media in Florida say that 6.1 earthquake in the Caribbean Sea was felt over in Florida, felt all over southern Florida, felt over into Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, felt in Cuba. That earthquake was just northwest of Cuba and just between Cuba and Yucatan Peninsula to the west in Mexico, Cancun, Mexico. One of my sons was in Cancun, Mexico 2 weeks ago. I am very, very happy that he's not there yesterday. I'm very, very happy he wasn't there yesterday because that earthquake did damage in Cancun as well, not just in Cuba. I gave you information yesterday saying the people in Cuba felt that earthquake and there was some damage in Cuba. That was a 6.1 earthquake, very strong earthquake. These earthquakes today that you see here in Mindanao, Philippines, which is the largest, Mindanao Island in the Philippines is the largest island in the Philippines. Already here in the southern Philippines, guys, there are over 200 earthquakes here. 200 earthquakes. And more coming almost every other minute. Literally every other minute. There are tremors, there are minor earthquakes, they're 3.0, they're 4.0 to 4.9, they're 5.0 to 5.9, and yes, we're still seeing 6.0, 6.5 earthquakes hitting here. They're aftershocks. All these earthquakes here are aftershocks. Every one of them. Every one of these earthquakes, guys. Okay? It's happening. It's going to be ongoing for some time. Anytime when we have an earthquake of this magnitude, whether it's in the Philippines or wherever it's at, we're going to see aftershocks for months and even years afterwards. Months and even years afterwards. Why do I say that? Let me go back over here. Let's go back up here to the Kamchatka Peninsula. Late last year, we had what they said was an 8.8 earthquake here in the Kamchatka Peninsula right here. An 8.8 earthquake. Prior to that happening, we had a 6.4, we had a 6.8, we had a 7.2, a 7.4, a 7.8, and then they said that we had an 8.8 earthquake. Back at the time, I told everybody that that earthquake was not an 8.8 but a 9.4. 9.4 earthquake. I showed you the data that showed this earthquake was a very strong earthquake here. Guys, guess what? We're still seeing earthquakes here alongside the eastern side of the Kamchatka Peninsula even today. Even today. This earthquake right here is a large 5.2 earthquake. 5.2 earthquake. The lucky thing about the Kamchatka Peninsula, very few people live here. Very few people live here. The story goes there are too many volcanoes on the Kamchatka Peninsula. That's why very few people live here. But they still have earthquakes all the time. They still have volcanic eruptions all the time. These earthquakes off the shore of Kamchatka Peninsula have already been 6 to 8 months. These are going to be ongoing for years, years and years. Now, I've got something else to show you here. USGS is not showing this at all. That's very sad. Very sad thing that they don't show this at all. Right here, this area right here between the Turkey and Syria countries here. Guess what? They're not showing any earthquakes at all. That's a fallacy, guys. That's a fallacy. 3 years ago, February 3rd, 3 years ago, 2023. Here we had a 9.0 earthquake. 9.0 to 10.0 earthquake. Guess what? That earthquake left over 5,000 people unalived and over 5,000 more injured. It also left a great big hole in the earth. A great big, huge, long fissure opened up. 14-mile long fissure opened up in the earth here in Turkey, eastern Turkey. It was deep enough to house an 8-story building in the fissure. An 8-story building fissure here, literally. It unalived over 5,000 people and injured over 5,000 others. Guess what? We are still seeing earthquakes here in this region right now. Today, 3 years later. 3 years later. Okay? Happens. Anytime we have an earthquake of this magnitude, these earthquakes will go on for years and years and years. And I fully expect to see within the next few days, USGS is going to cut back on the number of earthquakes that they're going to show us here. And the only way we're going to get information is from the European agency. The only way we're going to get any information about the Philippines is through the European agency. because the U.S. agency is going to stop talking about it. They would have us believe nothing's going on. But guys, they're still hunting for survivors. They're still searching for survivors here in the southern Philippines. Okay? It might be days or even weeks before we find everybody that was injured and or unalive from the earthquake here in the southern Philippines. And yes, guys, it happened offshore. It happened offshore, guys. Offshore. Yet it still had repercussions onshore. Onshore. I showed you the absolute destruction of some of the cities there. General Santos City itself. Other cities and towns as well. Offshore today, this is a 5.09, 5.1 earthquake here. Further south here, it's another 5.4 earthquake. 5.4 large earthquake. Offshore in that same area. We have other earthquakes here, such as this 4.2 moderate earthquake. 4.2 moderate earthquake. This earthquake down here is a 3.6 small earthquake. 4.6 small earthquake here. That's what's going on here, guys. That's exactly what's going on here. Earthquakes all over this region. They're going to continue to hit here for weeks, if not months, and even years. Okay, we're going to see it. Okay, this area of the Philippines has been hit before by very strong and very dangerous 7.0, 7.4 earthquakes right here near Davao, Philippines. Davao, Philippines. Look at all these earthquakes here. Another large earthquake further here to the north. That's a 5.0 large earthquake. Down here to the south on land here, this is a 5.1 earthquake. Just a little bit further to the south here, it's another 5.1 large earthquake. Offshore further to the south here, this is another 5.09, 5.1 earthquake. Large earthquakes, moderate earthquakes, and small earthquakes throughout this region. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're going to continue to see for a long, very, very long time. Now, as long as we get these earthquakes, every time one of these earthquakes hits, the search and rescue has to pause because we don't want to see any of our search and rescuers, even our canine rescuers, get killed by these earthquakes. They get out of there and pause for a time being, and then go back inside where they're searching for people. Apartment buildings, other buildings such as the university, the mall there in General Santos City, buildings, businesses, libraries, even the restaurant there. Unreal. Way down further south here, Talud Islands, Indonesia. 5.1 earthquake here. Over in the Philippines, guys, they had very, very light tsunamis. From anywhere from 18 inches, 8 inches small, all the way up to 18 inches high along the coastlines of the Philippines. That's what happened Sunday night. They had issued a tsunami advisory to include the areas down here into northern Indonesia. Had a tsunami advisory that was issued all the way down here into the northern islands of Indonesia. As you can see, they're still having earthquakes here. That's going to be ongoing for some time now. Okay, ongoing. Now, USGS, I want to back this out for just a minute. USGS is only showing 2 earthquakes here in Indonesia. 2 earthquakes down here in Indonesia. This earthquake here, guys, is a 4.4 moderate earthquake here. Labuan, Lombok, Indonesia. Lombok, Indonesia. What do we know about that? That's near Bali, Indonesia, guys. Several years ago, we had a 9.0 earthquake hit here near Bali, Indonesia. Bali and Lombok, Indonesia. Again, these earthquakes are still hitting. This is the 4.4 earthquake. But guys, guess what? USGS still cannot tell us the truth about what's going on there. Look at all these earthquakes here that they're not telling us about. That earthquake is out in eastern Java, Indonesia. Further south here, along this tectonic plate ridge here, see that earthquake fault? That's a tectonic plate ridge. This is a 4.8 moderate earthquake here. 4.8 moderate earthquake here. We continue to have earthquakes here. Regardless of what USGS says, we're still having earthquakes here. As I spoke about yesterday, the Philippines are the center part of a 7 tectonic plate region. The Philippines here are in the center part of a 7 tectonic plate region. The tectonic plates here, take down a webcam for a minute. The tectonic plates reach over here to Tonga, Samoa, and Fiji, all the way down here into New Zealand, all the way down here into Australia, the Indo-Australian plate here. We have earthquake faults, tectonic plates going over here into Indonesia, several tectonic plates here in Indonesia, to include the Philippines, to include Taiwan, to include Japan. 7 different tectonic plates in play here. What happens here? Why are we having earthquakes? Why are we having earthquakes? I keep explaining this. I'm going to continue to explain this because I want everybody to understand. In this tectonic plate region, one plate is subducting under the other plate like this. One tectonic plate is going to subduct under the other plate like this, causing earthquakes in this region. That's why we get so many earthquakes in this region. One tectonic plate is subducting under the other just like this. This is also why we have so many volcanoes. You can't have you cannot have subduction going on without volcanoes. You can't have volcanoes without subduction as well. That's why this region is full of volcanoes. It's in the Cascade Arc volcano, the ring of volcanoes here. The ring of volcanoes. The ring of volcanoes stretches from Alaska to the north, all the way down here to the south in New Zealand, over here to the east here in Chile, Argentina area, Central America, Southern Mexico, Western North America, US and Canada, going up here into Alaska. Now guys, I see up here in Alaska, northern Alaska, we have another earthquake just hit here. This is near Arctic Village, Alaska. A 2.1 minor earthquake up here in Arctic Village, Alaska. This is up at the Arctic Circle. This is at the Arctic Circle. Okay? All the other earthquakes are either here in central Alaska here, near Fairbanks, where we have another brand new earthquake here, a 0.8 microquake near Fairbanks, Alaska, closer to what they call Farmers Loop. 3 kilometers, 2.5 miles west-northwest of Farmers Loop, Alaska. Up here north of Fairbanks. This is a 1.3 supposed quarry blast. 1.3 supposed quarry blast. Guys, it's nowhere near a quarry. This is nowhere near the quarry. This is miles and miles away from the quarry. Yes, there's a quarry there, but miles and miles away from it. This is an earthquake. This is a 1.3 tremor here, not a quarry blast at all. When USGS shows us these yield signs here on their map, they typically say they're either an explosion or a quarry blast. This is neither an explosion or a quarry blast. Okay? This is, however, a tremor. A tremor. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you this, and I've told you this before. I'm going to continue to explain this. Yes, it could have been a spontaneous combustus carnivorous exploding tree. Okay? One of my buddies here that is also moderator on this channel hasn't been here since he had his house broken into in east of England. Demon Catman of east of England. He's a moderator on this channel. He hasn't been here for several weeks since he had his house broken into, but he hopes to be here very soon with us again. He made this meme for me. Spontaneous combustus carnivorous, an exploding tree. Maybe a squirrel up here in Alaska made that tree explode. Get prepared for the unexpected instances that happen here. Get prepared for any unexpected instance that can happen here. It can happen here, it can happen anywhere, literally. Get prepared for any unexpected emergency in your life. That's why we're on the air. Okay? Now, that's what happens here in Alaska. It happens everywhere. Literally everywhere, guys. We've told you about it before. We're going to tell you about it again and again because it happens. It happens. Now, let's back out of Alaska. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about any other earthquakes, volcanoes, or anything else before we go over and talk about the new Madrid fault? Yes, I'm going to talk about the new Madrid fault because we've had some earthquakes here. USGS has shown us one earthquake here on the new Madrid fault today. One lousy earthquake that they're showing here on the new Madrid fault. It's not the only one. It's by far not the only earthquake here on the new Madrid fault. I can prove it. I've got data to prove it. USGS is saying this is a 2.2 minor earthquake here in Ridgely, Texas. 2.2 earthquake here in Ridgely, Texas. Guess what? It's not the only earthquake here at all. Any questions for us? Terry Quinn says this is scary. It is. It's absolutely scary, guys. I've been in my share of large earthquakes before. Some of you might know back in, if you lived in Los Angeles area, around 1994, we had Northridge earthquake in Los Angeles. I was not in that earthquake itself, but I was there after the earthquake happened. We had aftershocks. We had large aftershocks, 5.0, 5.8, 5.9 earthquakes in Northridge after that. One of my police partners and I, he came up to Los Angeles with me to help Los Angeles Police, Northridge Police, and Los Angeles Sheriff and all the other agencies that were helping here try to find people and help rescue and recover the communities. That's what we did. The first night we were there, we had pitched a tent right beside a police unit. He had a tent and I had a tent. We pitched our tents right beside a police unit. Just after we fell asleep, I don't think we'd been asleep very long. We had a large earthquake, an aftershock that night, that 6.9 earthquake. That picked me up and threw me off the ground. Picked me up and threw me back to the ground. I hit hard. It woke me up. It shook me up. Shook my partner up. We bounded out of our tents literally. We looked at each other and the ground was still shaking. My gosh. My gosh. When that happens, you can't go back to sleep. You can't go back to sleep at all. We didn't. We stayed awake. We threw our tents and belongings back in the back of the police car. We drove around Northridge all the rest of the night. all the rest of the night. We didn't get much sleep at all. I don't remember. Maybe we may have gotten 45 minutes to an hour sleep. That's all. We're tired as all get out. The next night we did it again. We did not sleep at any hotels or motels because we are afraid these earthquakes might topple the ceilings or even topple the rafters on top of us. So we did not sleep in any motels or hotels at all. We slept in our tents right beside a police car. And yes, we got woken up many times. That's unnerving. That's really unnerving. If any of you have been watching then, you have seen us driving ourselves crazy, and everybody else in that area also driving ourselves crazy. That's what happens. That's what happens. High anxiety, very high anxiety, guys. Earthquakes happen all the time. Even over here in Ridgely, Tennessee. USGS said this is a 6.2 earthquake. Guys, we have all kinds of earthquakes here in Ridgely, Tennessee today. This is not the only one. Let me show you some data here. Let me show you some data. This is what they call a seismogram. The seismogram is a computer readout showing the strength of the earthquakes that hit in a certain area. In this particular case, guys, guess what? This is Bay Village, Arkansas. Bay Village, Arkansas, near the Pneumatic Fault. Look at these earthquakes, guys. Yes, they had some minor earthquakes. Some 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes here in Bay Village, Arkansas, on the western side of the Pneumatic Fault today. Look at this. That's incredible, isn't it? It really is. We'll start about 6:30 this morning. 6:30 this morning. They did not stop until about 8:15 this morning. Almost 2 hours of constant shaking of some kind. Yes, some people may have not felt, most people may have not felt minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. But there was a 3.0 earthquake here, they felt it. And yes, I believe there may have been one 3.0 earthquake here this morning. Just after 6:03 this morning, 6:33 this morning on this blue line here. On this blue line, 6:33 this morning, 3.0 small earthquake. Another one after that, 6:05 this morning, 6:35 this morning. The blue line here is 6:30 on the left-hand side. Over here are the minutes, 6:35 this morning, another 3.0 earthquake here. Other than that, these are small, minor earthquakes here. This morning here in Bay Village, Arkansas. These are constant, guys. These are constant. Hatachikoon, Arkansas here this morning, right here. Hatachikoon, Arkansas this morning. These are tremors here. Nothing but tremors here. Maybe one minor earthquake here. I'm sorry, one minor earthquake here just after 10, let's see, 2, 3, 4, just after 10:34 this morning. Maybe a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here on the black line there. All the rest of these are just minor tremors. Minor tremors here. Marktree, Arkansas. Marktree, Arkansas here. Look at that. This is Arkansas, guys. This is Arkansas on the western side of the Pneumatic Fault today. These kinds of earthquakes hit here in Marktree, Arkansas every day. Every day. Up at the top on this red line, this is a tremor, and it's a long duration tremor lasting 3 to 4 minutes here. In this case, 3 or 4 minutes here. Long duration tremor. But then the shaking gets as large as maybe a 2.5, 2.6 minor earthquake. 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes not be felt by most people. If anybody feels these minor earthquakes here, they might feel 2.8, 2.9, but there may have been very sensitive people as well. Most people feel 3.0 large earthquakes. 3.0 and large earthquakes. 3.0, 3.9 are small earthquakes. Now we jump down here then to after 2 a.m. this morning on this black line. Just after 2 a.m. on the black line, we have tremors. 2 minutes later, those tremors are getting larger. Then they're turning into 2.3, 2.4 earthquakes, minor earthquakes, building up to 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. Then, 4:30 this morning on this blue line. 4:30 this morning, we have some tremors. Right before 4:31, we have a minor earthquake. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. We have more 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes here. Then they build up. 2.7, 2.8. 3.0 earthquakes for about a minute and a half. 3.0 earthquakes for about a minute and a half. Notice that the top line of this sequence, the bottom line of these sequence is cut off. The top and bottom line of this sequence is cut off because the agency again doesn't want us to know the strength of these earthquakes. This was at least a 3.0 earthquake here. At least a 3.0 earthquake here in Marquette, Arkansas. This kind of thing happens every day. This kind of thing happens every day. 3 to 3.5 earthquakes happen every day here in Marquette, Arkansas. 3 years ago, this didn't happen. 3 years ago, all we saw here along the pneumatic fault was minor tremors, tiny tremors. 1.0 to 1.9 tremors, that's it. Nothing more. 2.5 years ago, those tremors began to be minor earthquakes, 2.0 to 2.9. 3 years ago, guess what? Those earthquakes went from being 2.0 to 2.9 to small 3.0, 3.9 earthquakes. That's what they are at right now. 3.0, 3.9 earthquakes. And earlier this year in Missouri, we saw our first 4.5 and 4.7 earthquakes in Missouri. In Missouri, guys. Now at this rate, in the last 3 years, we went from having tremors to moderate 4.5 and 4.7 earthquakes. By the end of this year, guys, we may start seeing large 5.0 earthquakes here on the pneumatic fault. Why am I saying that? Because if you take a look at 3 years ago with tremors, there's been a marked increase every year in the size of the earth shaking. There's been a marked earthquake increase in seismic activity on the pneumatic fault. A marked increase. Already this year, since January, we've also seen 4.5 and 4.7 earthquakes in Missouri. Missouri is the center of the pneumatic fault. Center of the pneumatic fault. These are earthquakes in southeastern Arkansas on the western side of the pneumatic fault. These are happening, guys. This is happening every day. Not just now, not just tomorrow, not just yesterday, but every day. Literally every day. Okay? Yet USGS is denying it. They don't show it. They're not going to show it. They have never showed it. Yes, they showed one 4.5 earthquake in Missouri, but they did not show the 4.7 that was there either. They're not going to show it because they don't want to admit what's going on. They're not wanting to admit what's going on here. Marquette, Arkansas this afternoon, almost nothing. Just minor tremors here in Marquette, Arkansas this afternoon. That is not always the case at all. Most of the time, these 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes continue all day long. Now, guys, I cut this off just after 3:45. Just after 3:45 this afternoon, actually 3 o'clock this afternoon. I cut it off just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, guys, we may already have had some other small earthquakes after I cut it off here. Earthquakes are continuing. They don't stop just because I pull the seismogram. The seismogram is the computer readout from the seismograph. What exactly is going on here? Let's go to Central Arkansas here. Central Arkansas. As we typically have shown you before, after midnight, actually before midnight, the seismologists go home. When they go home about 7 or 8 o'clock at night at the very latest, they turn down the seismographs. They turn down the seismographs. That way they don't want to have to explain anything that happened during the night. When they come back to work, that's when they turn the seismograph back up. That's when we see most of the activity. It's when they come back to work. In this case today, this morning here in Needham, Arkansas, Central Arkansas, guys. Needham, Arkansas is in Central Arkansas here. Just after 9:40 a.m. this morning, that's a 3.0 earthquake on the blue line. The red line above it would be 9:15 on the left-hand side. Over here, this would be 9:26 p.m., 9:26 a.m. this morning. That's a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. But a 3.0 earthquake happened at 9:40 a.m. this morning. Then we have tremors here. Lots and lots of tremors here. These tremors happen, or these earthquakes, I'm sorry. We have tremors, then we have these earthquakes after 11:30 this morning on this blue line. Okay, for approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. 5 minutes we have some tremors. At 11:36 a.m. this morning, we had those tremors move into 2.5, 2.6, 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. 3.0, 3.1 earthquake. Back down to moderate earthquakes again, 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Then tremors. Then 3 minutes later, several more 3.0 earthquakes. Several more 3.0 earthquakes. Now in this case, in this particular situation here, you can't see the top of this signature. They've cut it off. They don't want to see how strong this earthquake was. Or I should say earthquakes. Multiple earthquakes here. Multiple earthquakes here. These primary waves here are thick, meaning earthquakes happen back to back. These earthquakes happen back to back. That's what we're seeing here. Okay? Multiple 3.0 earthquakes happening here today. Needham, Arkansas. Central Arkansas. Now let's go further north into north central Arkansas here. Right here. This is Ozark Folk Center, Arkansas. Ozark Folk Center, Arkansas. This is this afternoon here. This morning, the seismograph didn't show anything, so I didn't show the seismograph. This is this afternoon. After 1 p.m. 1 p.m. 3.1, 3.2 earthquake here. Multiple earthquakes back to back. You see a thick earthquake signal here? Those are multiple 3.0, 3.1 earthquakes back to back. The ground shook for about 5 or 10 seconds. Then it stopped. Came from tiny tremors, build up to 2.8, 2.9 earthquake, then a 3.03.1 earthquake here. Then we come across here to the right, this time at 8:13 a.m. this morning. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake here. Multiple earthquakes back to back for several seconds. Then went briefly down to just tremors and then right back up to 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes here. And then back down to tremors rapidly. Ozark Folk Center. Usually we have these kind of earthquakes in the morning and in the afternoon. Multiple earthquakes in the morning and in the afternoon here is Ozark Folk Center. But today it only shows this afternoon for whatever reason. Okay. Now, I showed you Marktree, Arkansas a few minutes ago. Let's go a little bit south to Truman, Arkansas. Truman, Arkansas. This is a little bit different. Again, we're near the New Madrid Fault here. Truman, Arkansas, we've been seeing a lot of 3.0 earthquakes here. Lots and lots. Today, we're seeing more tremors and minor earthquakes than we are seeing 3.0. All kinds of tremors and minor earthquakes here. But we are seeing one 3.0 earthquake here. Right here in this green line here. This green line here on the left-hand side is 8:45. Over here, this is like 8:53 a.m. this morning. Multiple 3.0 earthquakes here. We start off about 8:49, 8:50 with tremors. 8:52, 8:53, 8:54 tremors. Then we go up to 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes, back down to 2.0, and right back up to 3.0 earthquakes here. Okay? That's incredible, isn't it? But the signal doesn't stop. The sequence doesn't stop. The Earth continues to shake for about 10 or 15 seconds here. 3.0 energy. Then it calmed down after that. 2.8, 2.9, 2.6, 2.7, 2.5, 2.6. That alternated about for another minute, 60 seconds. Then it went back to minor tremors, 1.9, 1.8 tremors, 1.6, 1.7. And after several minutes, it totally dissipated. After that, we had more tremors here. More and more tremors here. Truman, Arkansas here, we typically see more earthquakes than we see tremors. We typically see more earthquakes than we see tremors here in Truman, Arkansas. Let's look at Truman, Arkansas this afternoon. Right here. The top line here on the left-hand side is 12 noon. We come across to 12:05. Between 12:03 and 12:05, we see tremors, don't we? Just before 12:05, we've had a 1.9 earthquake here, 1.9 tremor here, 1.9 tremor. Guys, I do not believe we had anything more than a 2.2 earthquake here. 2.2 earthquake here. That earthquake happened at approximately 12:11 a.m. this morning. 12:11 p.m. this afternoon, over towards the right-hand side of the top black line. Okay? All the rest of this information is all tremor activity. Minor tremor activity here. Truman, Arkansas. Then I want to go down to Twist, Arkansas. Yes, guys, a town called Twist, Arkansas. Look what we're seeing here. This is a little bit different. Again, when the seismologists go home, they turn down the seismograph. They turn it back up when they come back to work. We typically see this every day on every seismograph. Look at this. I'm going to raise this up a little bit so you can see it. Look what we're seeing here today. On this black line on the left-hand side, you see an earthquake over on the right-hand side. On this black line on the left, that is 7 a.m. We come over here to the right. This is about 7:12 a.m. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake here. After that, all we have are tremors here. Tremors. But the next time we have a real earthquake, is at, excuse me, sorry about that, is after 10 a.m. this morning. We come across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10:06 this morning. Starts off with tremors about 10:03, 10:04. Then at 10:06, all of a sudden we have a 2.5 earthquake. 2.5 minor earthquake, 2.0s, several 2.5s here. Then it dwindles down to tremors again. On the next red line, starts off on the red line at 10:15 on the left-hand side. Over at 10:19, we start seeing 2.0 earthquakes, 2.5 earthquakes, then back down to tremors again. At 10:30 on the next blue line, that's when we have more tremors and more minor earthquakes than anything else. They go back and forth. Tremors 1.0, 1.9. Minor earthquakes going in size from 2.0 to 2.8. 2.0, 2.8 going all along this blue line to the right. The same thing happens at 10:45 on the green line. 10:45 to 11 a.m. on the next black line. Next black line is also showing us tremors and minor earthquakes. The next red line, the bottom red line, tremors, minor earthquakes again. The next blue line, we have some tremors that go up to 2.8, 2.9 earthquakes here. 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes here after 11:36 a.m. this morning. Okay? Then, over on the same blue line to the right, that is 11:44 a.m. this morning. Go over to the left-hand side, 11:45 on the green line. These are still minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes. Then they dissipate to minor tremors. They go over to about the center right-hand side of this seismogram on the bottom green line. More minor earthquakes, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. Then they dwindle down to nothing but tremors again. This twists Arkansas. How about twist Arkansas this afternoon? Right here. On the top left-hand black line is 12 noon. We go over here to the right, just before 12:02, we are also already seeing 2.0 earthquakes. Then 2.6, 2.7 after 2:03, right before 2:03. 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes there. Then they all go back down to tremors again. Go further over here to the right. All of a sudden we have 2.8, 2.9, 3 points earthquakes, dwindling down to minor earthquakes, and again back down to tremors again. On the next red line, 12:15 on the left-hand side. We go over here to the right with a bunch of tremors. We go over here 5 minutes. Okay. Now we have 12:20 p.m. this afternoon. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake again. Minor earthquake. All the rest of this activity is all tremors except for one place. That's just after 2:44 this afternoon on the right-hand side on the green line. That's a 2.0 earthquake. That 2.0 earthquake continues over here after 3 p.m. on the black line. 2:44, I say 2:59 to 3 p.m. on the black line left-hand side. Twist, Arkansas. Then we're going to go further south to Tyrons, Arkansas. Tyrons, Arkansas here. This again is right next to the Pneumatic Fault, southern Arkansas. Look what we have here. After midnight on the left-hand top line, nothing. Tiny tremors, microquakes maybe. Then we drop down here to 2:15 this morning. We have our first 3 points earthquake at 2:15 this morning. Then pretty much nothing but microquakes and tremors after that until we get down here to 7:15 this morning on the red line. Still after 7:15 this morning, nothing but tremors until we get over the right. Then suddenly, 7:13 into 7:14, we have a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake again on the red line. On the next blue line here on the left-hand side, this is 7:34. This time 2.6, 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes here. Again, minor earthquakes. Look at all these earthquakes, guys. Look at all these earthquakes. The next time we see a 3 points earthquake, we are at 8:46 a.m. this morning on the next green line left-hand side. That's our first 3.0, 3.1 earthquake this morning. Right next to it, about 30 seconds later, 2.8, 2.9 earthquake there. Then at 8:02 a.m. 8:02 a.m. here, Tyrons, Arkansas, we have a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. We go over to the right center here on the same black line, 2.6, 2.7 earthquake there. On the next red line, 8:18 this morning, 3 points earthquake. Interesting. Next green line, nothing. The next black line is 9 a.m. 9 a.m. 9 a.m. we're seeing a 2.3, 2.4 earthquake. After that, 10 a.m. on the next black line. 10:02 we have some minor tremor. Maybe 2.3, 2.4 tremor here. We follow that black line over the right-hand side. This time we are at 10:43 this morning. 3.1 earthquake here. 3.1 earthquake at 10:13 a.m. this morning. The next red line is 10:15 on the left-hand side. Come over here to the center here. Okay. This time we're at 10:23 a.m. this morning. This is our next 3.0 earthquake here. We go over 1, 2, 3 minutes later, 3.2, 3.3 earthquake there on the red line. Incredible, huh? On the next line, it's blue. Next line is blue. We go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later. 10:35. Another 3.0 earthquake. Wild, isn't it? It really is. Next time we have any kind of earthquake, it is now 10:50 a.m. this morning. 10:50 a.m. this morning on the green line. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake this time. On the next black line, 11:01 a.m. this morning. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake on the black line there. We go over to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 minutes later. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake again on the black line. They don't show the top of the black line for whatever reason, but the bottom black line goes down. That is a 3.0, 3.1 earthquake there. On the next red line over to the right, another earthquake. Another 3.0 earthquake here. This time it's 11:41 a.m. this morning. On the next blue line here, up again here to the right, 10:12 or 11:12 a.m. here. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. Tyrone, Arkansas has had a lot of earthquakes here. They usually do. Here we see a lot of earthquake here in Tyrone, Arkansas. The same thing here this afternoon. Look at all these small and minor earthquakes here. Okay? The top black line here on the left-hand side is 12 noon. We come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes later. 12:06, we have our first 3.1 earthquake here. 3.1 earthquake, 2.7, 2.8 earthquake, 2.5, 2.6 earthquake after that. 12:16 p.m. this afternoon. Here we're seeing a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake on the red line. We come all the way over to the right-hand side. 12:29 this afternoon. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake again. But this time, we come over to the left-hand side of the blue line, nothing. Tiny tremors after that. We went from a minor earthquake to tremors real quick. Come over here to the right. 4 minutes later, we have another 3.0 earthquake. 2 minutes later, we have another 3.0 earthquake on the blue line. Craziness. Craziness, guys. 1 p.m. Come over here, left-hand side, 1 p.m. on the black line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes later. Actually, I'm sorry, that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later. 1:04 p.m. Another 3.0 earthquake. 4 minutes after that, 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. 4 minutes later, a 2.0 earthquake. That's all fine and good. For the next green line here, 1:45 p.m. on the left-hand side. Come over here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes later on the green line. 1:52 p.m. this afternoon. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. On the next black line is 2 p.m. Just before 2:01 p.m., we have another 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. That's cool. Nothing but tremors after that until we get over here to 2:15. Just before 2:15 on the green line on the right-hand side, tremors. Here at 2:15, guys, we have a 3.1, 3.2 earthquake here. We went from tremors to 3.2 earthquake rather quickly right there. After that, 2:01 or 2:16 p.m. here, 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. 3 minutes later, another 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Nothing but tremors after that. Tyronza, Arkansas this afternoon. That is a lot of earthquakes here in Arkansas. Granted, that's a lot of earthquakes here in Arkansas. Let's go over to Missouri. Let's take a look at Missouri. Guam, Missouri, guys. Guam, Missouri. I showed you a seismogram just a few minutes ago with these long duration tremors turning into minor earthquakes. That's what we're seeing here in Guam, Missouri. We're seeing long duration tremors turning into minor earthquakes. 2.0 to 2.5 earthquakes here throughout this seismogram here. Guam, Missouri today, this morning. Now, just a second here. Guam, Missouri this afternoon. Guam, Missouri this afternoon. Right here on the top left black line. That's 12 noon. 3.3 earthquake this afternoon. 12 noon here. Guam, Missouri. Where did it come from? Where did this 3.3 earthquake come from? Let's go back to Guam, Missouri this morning at 11:59 this morning on the bottom green line here. 11:59 this morning here in Guam, Missouri. All we had were tremors. But this afternoon, what did we have? What did we have this afternoon, guys? We had a full-blown 3.3 earthquake. We had a full-blown 3.3 earthquake here this afternoon, right there. After the 3.3, it dropped down to minor earthquakes, 2.6, 2.7, 2.7, 2.8, 2.0, 2.4, 2.5, 2.0, 2.0, then tremors, and then it totally dissipates. Then the rest of this time, we see these long duration tremors and minor earthquakes developing, 2.0 earthquakes developing here, then going back down to tremors again. That doesn't happen like this very often, but it did here today in Guam, Missouri. Now, guys, let's take a look at Baker Cemetery. I'm sorry, not Baker, but Barker Cemetery here in Missouri. Okay, 3 years ago, all morning long, we used to see minor tremors here and minor earthquakes. Minor tremors being 1.5 to 1.9, minor earthquakes being 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes. Nothing more, nothing less. Look at this, guys. Look at this. We go from tiny tremors, 1.0 tremors, and even minor microquakes before that. We go to 2.0 earthquakes sometime after 8:10 this morning on the black line center. 8:40, actually not 8:40, 8:51 a.m. this morning. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Down here at about 9:36, 9:37 this morning, 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Drop down here at 9:56 a.m. this morning, tremors here, developing into a minor 1.9 tremor into 2.0 earthquake. Tremors again. 10:19, more tremors on the red line. 10:51, 10:52, more tremors there this morning. 10:53, more tremor, or I'm sorry, 10:58 this morning. More tremors there. All of a sudden, 11:03 this morning, 3.0 earthquake again. Barca Cemetery, 3.0 earthquake here. We go over 3 minutes later. This time we have another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. On the next red line here to the right, on the left-hand side, that would be 11:15. This is 11:26 this morning. 3.0 earthquake here on the red line. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake on the red line there. After that, on the blue and green line here after that, nothing but tremors here. Nothing but tremors here in Barca Cemetery this morning. What happened here at Barca Cemetery this afternoon? Right here. Look at this, guys. Missouri, Barca Cemetery this afternoon. On this red line this afternoon, 12:20 this afternoon, 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. On the next blue line, all we had were 1.1, 1.2 tremors here. On the next green line on the right-hand side, this would be 12:45 on the left-hand side here. This is 12:56 here on the green line. 2.4, 2.5 earthquake here. On the next red line, 2:15 p.m., 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Over a minute and a half later, another 2.5 earthquake. After that, on the same line, about a minute and a quarter later, minute 20 seconds later, 1.5, 1.6 tremor here. The next time we have any kind of earthquake activity, it's after 2:15 this afternoon on the left-hand side of the red line. This is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake here. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not true. That is a 1.6, 1.7 tremor here. Going over here to the right, this is a 2.0 earthquake right here. 2:19 this morning, this afternoon, 2:19 this afternoon. Barca Cemetery this afternoon. Again, this is Missouri. Missouri, guys. Missouri has earthquakes. Missouri has earthquakes. Let's go over here to Portisville, Missouri, again on the New Madrid Fault. Look at this morning. Top black line here on the left-hand side is 12 midnight. We dropped down here to have an earthquake after 2:30 this morning. 2:33 this morning, we had some tremors. 2:33 in some seconds. All of a sudden, we build up to 2.7, 2.8 tremor earthquake, 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Then all of a sudden we have over a 3.0 earthquake. Notice with this sequence was cut off at the top and the bottom of this sequence. That means this was at least a 3.0 earthquake. Possibly be as strong as a 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here in Portageville, Missouri. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here in Portageville, Missouri this morning after 2:17, 2:18 this morning. That seismic energy continued that sequence for 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes, small earthquake sequence here. Anybody sleeping here in Portageville, Missouri got woken up this morning twice. Twice with earthquakes here. Twice with earthquakes. The next time was after 4:30 this morning. 4:30 this morning. We go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later. 4:35 this morning, we had some tremors. All of a sudden, it develops into 2.6, 2.7 earthquake, 2.8, 2.9, then into again 3.0 sequence and larger. The top and the bottom of this sequence was also cut off. We had 2 minutes worth of shaking here. 2 minutes of 3.0 small earthquake shaking. Probably 3.2, 3.3 shaking here. That would have woken somebody up. Their bed shaking. They had their feet on the floor, they feel the floor moving. They may have even felt the bed moving alongside the floor because it's on top of the floor. They may have felt their bed moving along the floor. Woke them up, didn't it? Certainly did. The next time we have earthquakes after that, next time we have earthquakes after that, 10:49 a.m. this morning on the green line. That's a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake, minor earthquake. Nobody feels minor earthquakes that size. Too small. Then on the next black line is 11 a.m. on the left-hand side. We go over to the right. 11:13, we have a 2.7, 2.8 minor earthquake. A minute later, we have another 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Next time we have an earthquake, 11:15 this morning. 11:16, 2.8, 2.9 earthquake sequence. Back-to-back earthquakes here. Portageville, Missouri this morning. The ground moved here in Portageville many times, didn't it? Moved many times. It moved many times, guys. Then, this afternoon, this is what we see this afternoon. 12:02 this afternoon. Another 3.0 small earthquake here. They felt this. They felt it. Then we have tremors until we get over here to approximately 12:20, say 12:26 this afternoon on the red line here. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake there. On the next blue line, we have some tremors. Next green line, more tremors. Next black line, more tremors. Next line, more tremors. 1:15, we have more tremors. 1:30. Those tremors turn into minor earthquakes again. 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes here. For about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 p.m. we had a 2.0 earthquake. That's it. That's it. Pires, Missouri moved. We've shown you movement in Arkansas and Missouri now. Guess what? Let's go over to the north. Decatur, Louisiana. For the past 2.5 months now. 2.5 months. Decatur, Louisiana has seen 3.0 earthquakes here. Maybe even larger than that. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Decatur, Louisiana. Or I'm Decatur, Illinois. Decatur, Illinois, guys. Look at all these earthquakes. Yes, we have a lot of tremors here. We have a lot of minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. But look at all of these 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes hitting here. 12:30 a.m. here on the blue line. 3.3 earthquakes here. The top and the bottom of this sequence was cut off, so we don't know exactly how strong they were. But these were at least 3.0, 3.3 earthquakes. Then, come down here to 4:15 this morning on the red line. Look at this 3.0 plus sequence. Starting at 3:16 this morning. Starting at 3:16 this morning. All the way over here to the right to approximately 4:27, actually left further than that. This would be 4:27 this afternoon. That's a lot of shaking going on. Long duration shaking here. Anybody that was in here in Decatur, Illinois felt this earthquake. Long duration earthquake here. 3.0, 3.3 shaking here. 9 to 10 minutes worth of shaking here. Decatur, Illinois today. We've had long duration shaking before. Not quite like they had today. You see minor 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes here. You see tremors 1.0, 1.9 here. Lots of them. They're all over here. Literally all over here this morning. Guess what? Decatur, Illinois this afternoon. The same thing. The same thing. Lots and lots of earthquakes. From Illinois to the north, all the way down to Louisiana, Mississippi on the south. I want to show Indiana and Ohio. Then we'll go down to Louisiana, okay? This is Decatur, Illinois here. Decatur, Illinois here. Let's go over here to Rosedale, Indiana. Rosedale, Indiana here. Look at this. Minor earthquakes here. Early this morning. Tremors early this morning. 12:24 a.m. this morning. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. After that, 2.1 earthquake. Minor earthquakes. Rosedale, Indiana this morning. It didn't stop. It did not stop. Iowa. Iowa, guys, look at this. Tabor, Iowa. Last week was the first time we've seen earthquakes here in Tabor, Iowa. They happened again today. I believe they happen every day. From the data I've looked at, these earthquakes here in Tabor, Iowa have happened every day. Here you are seeing tremors and minor earthquakes. Nothing more than tremors and minor earthquakes this morning. Okay. This is after 6:30 this morning. Between 6:30 and 7:45 this morning. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tabor, Iowa. Tabor, Iowa. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we have one other here in Ohio. Yes. Yes, we do. Peeble, Ohio. Peeble, Ohio. Peeble. Peeble, Ohio. This was this morning. After 2:37 this morning. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Peeble, Ohio. Now, guys, there is only so much that they allow me to access here in Ohio. If you live in an area of Ohio, you may have also felt earthquakes here. Ohio is the furthest to the northeast that the new Madrid fault goes. It's the farthest to the northeast that the new Madrid fault goes. We have had earthquakes here. These are ongoing. These are ongoing, guys. These are definitely ongoing. Now, let me take you down to DeRidder, Louisiana. DeRidder, Louisiana. This is over near the Gulf of America. Here you have seen tremors here on the New Madrid Fault. Nothing but tremors here at DeRidder, Louisiana this morning. Let's show you this afternoon here. This afternoon, we started seeing earthquakes this afternoon. After 12 noon on the black line, we may have seen 2 points of earthquakes this morning, or I'm sorry, this afternoon, just after 12 noon. But after 12:30 on the blue line, we are seeing minor earthquakes here in DeRidder, Louisiana. Over here on the right center here, 2.7, 2.8 earthquakes here. Going over here to the right, this is 12:42 this afternoon. 3.0 earthquake here. 3.0 earthquake at 12:42 p.m. this afternoon. On the next green line, 12:45 on the left-hand side. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Just after 12:46 p.m. this afternoon. Then we had tremors. Just about 12:48. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake again. More tremors and minor earthquakes here. Go over here to the center of this green line here. That's a 2.0 minor earthquake there. Dropping down to the next black line, 1 p.m. this afternoon. DeRidder, Louisiana. DERRIDER, DeRidder, Louisiana. 1 p.m. 1.6, 1.7 tremor. The tremors continue all the way across this to the center of this seismogram. Seismogram is a computer readout The seismograph is a machine. Okay? This shows a lot of seismic activity here in DeRidder, Louisiana. I want to go over here now and show you Pioneer, Louisiana, right here. Again, after the seismologists leave at night, they turn the seismograph down, so it's not going to report much of anything. After they come back to work, they turn it back up. In this case, after 8 a.m. is the first time or actually 7 a.m. is the first time we see tremors here. 8 a.m. we have more tremors. 8:15 we have more tremors. 8:30 we have more tremors. 8:45 on the green line, more tremors. 9 a.m. more tremors. 9:15 on the red line, more tremors, but as we move over here to the right, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 tremors here. On the next blue line, we see more tremors. We see some 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes. On the next green line, all of a sudden we see tremors, and we see 2.6, 2.7 minor earthquakes. Pioneer, Louisiana. We haven't seen minor earthquakes in Pioneer, Louisiana for an entire month. Now we're seeing them again. All morning long from 9:30 on, we are seeing minor earthquakes going on here and minor tremors. Pioneer, Louisiana this morning. Okay. Pioneer, Louisiana this afternoon. Up on the top black line this afternoon on the left-hand side, microquakes and tremors here. Microquakes and tremors. Here after 1 p.m. on the black line, 1 p.m. on the black on the left-hand side, more tremors here. And that's all we see here this afternoon here in Pioneer, Louisiana. This is the southern part of the New Madrid Fault. In the southern part of the New Madrid Fault, we're seeing tremors. Then gradually we see minor earthquakes, 3.0 small earthquakes, and up to 3.5 small earthquakes here. So far, we've not seen 4.0 earthquakes here today. We haven't seen 4.0 earthquakes for about 2 to 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks here. Now, I'm not done here. I'm not done here. Okay? We've shown you earthquakes in Ohio. We've shown you earthquakes in Iowa. We've shown you earthquakes in Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas. Arkansas, guys. How about some other state here? How about Kentucky? How about Kentucky? This is at the Kentucky border here. The Kentucky border here with the New Madrid Fault. The top line here is 12 midnight on the left-hand side. We're seeing minor microquakes and minor tremors here. All the way down here to after 5 or 6 o'clock this morning. Then all of a sudden we're seeing tremors after that. We are seeing minor earthquakes at approximately 11 a.m. this morning. Actually, before that. Sorry, before that. 8:50 this morning on the green line here in the center. That appears to be a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here this morning. Okay, about 7:50 this morning. Then again, after 11:03 a.m., we have a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here on the black line. Over here on the right-hand side, bottom here on the blue line, that is also 2.6 earthquake. 2.6 earthquake. This is 11:42 a.m. this morning. Kentucky, guys. Kentucky. Now I'm going to move across the state to the east. I'm going to move across the state to the east. I want to go down to Tennessee now. I want you to see what is happening in Tennessee. Actually, before that, I want you to see what is happening on the Pneumatic Fault on the Tennessee border. Remember they said we had a 2.2 earthquake here in Ridgely, Tennessee today? There it is. There it is here this morning. On the left-hand side. That is more than a 2.2 earthquake though. That earthquake is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake, not a 2.2. So again, we see the USGS told us a fib. This is a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here in Ridgely, Tennessee, along the Pneumatic Fault. This is a fault earthquake here. This is a fault earthquake here. Then after that, we see a bunch of tremors here. Nothing but tremors here in Ridgely, Tennessee. Now, let's go and check out Ridgely, Tennessee this afternoon. Ridgely, Tennessee this afternoon. Nothing but tremors here this afternoon at all. That's it. So instead of seeing a 2.2 like they said it was a 2.6. And nothing but tremors here the rest of the day. Ridgely, Tennessee. Let's take a look at Tiptonville, Tennessee. Tiptonville. There is a federal prison here in Tiptonville, Tennessee. Federal Correctional Center here in Tiptonville, Tennessee. This is where this seismograph is. It's where it's located. This morning, guys, 8 a.m. this morning. 8 a.m. this morning. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake on the black line there. Then, the next earthquake we had here was after 9 a.m. on the black line. Go over here to the right on the black line here. 9:12 a.m. 3.2 earthquake. 3.2 earthquake here in Tiptonville, Tennessee. They're not showing this earthquake. They're not showing any of these earthquakes here in Tiptonville. They wanted us to believe there was a 2.2 earthquake here in Ridgely. This is over here in Tiptonville, also just south of Ridgely, Tiptonville, Tennessee, along the Pneumatic Fault, east side of the fault. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake here. Then just before 9:14, 2.8 earthquake. The next earthquake we had was after 8:15. After 8:15 this morning. Guess what? 8:22. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. 10 seconds later, another 3.2, 3.3 earthquake hit. 3.3 earthquake hit again. 45 seconds later. 40 seconds later, we had a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Tiptonville, Tennessee. USGS still is not telling us the truth. They only want to report what they want us to see, nothing more. I keep showing you guys this day after day, all over the world, here on the New Madrigal today. On the New Madrigal today. They don't ever want to tell us the truth, ever. Guys, here on the New Madrigal, we may see a large 5.0 or larger earthquake here this year by the end of the year. Sometime next year after that, we may see a 7.0, 7.5, maybe even as large as an 8.0 earthquake in 2027. Yes, guys. Yes, guys. The New Madrid fault is moving in such a way that I believe we may see as large as a 7.5 to 8.0 earthquake sometime next year. Fact. Fact. If we don't see it, it will be shortly after that. But that's the truth, guys. That is what's going on. Total Vagabonds, thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here from Ireland. Guys, say hello to Total Vagabonds. We don't see him long enough here. We only see him for a short time usually. He's not here on the everyday chat, but we appreciate him being here. Total Vagabonds here from the beautiful Emerald Islands of Ireland. Thank you for being here, guy. We appreciate you a lot. Total Vagabonds has been here nearly 6 years with us. We appreciate you so much, guy. We do. Josh Kelly is saying here in the chat, I think the mantle is slipping, moving with pole destabilization across magnetic field bands. Possibly. Our magnetic field bands are distorted. They're totally distorted, guys. It started with the solar minimum we had 3 years ago. The solar minimum ended almost 3 years ago. That left our magnetosphere in a huge hurt. Huge hurt. The Earth's magnetic field bands are distorted completely. Hopefully they're building up. They're still very weak here. Because of that, because of the solar flares, and also the planetary alignments, we are seeing these earthquakes. That's what's happening here. But it's not over here, guys. It's not quite over. Let's go show you what is going on Eastern Tennessee seismic zone. In the Eastern Tennessee seismic zone, guys. What's going on? What's going on, guys? Can you imagine what's happening? Hopper, Tennessee. Hopper, Tennessee here. East Tennessee seismic zone. This is the southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. The southern part of the Eastern Continental Divide. Today here, 6:46 this morning, 3.3 earthquake here in Hopper, Tennessee. The southern end of the Eastern Tennessee seismic zone. The southern end of the Eastern Continental Divide. Before and after that, we had tremors, minor earthquakes. That's what we have here. That's exactly what we have here. Hopper, Tennessee today. Hopper, Tennessee today. Guess what? Let's look at Hopper, Tennessee this afternoon. This is this afternoon. The top black line is 12 noon here in Hopper, Tennessee. Hoppers, Hopper, Tennessee. We have some tremors here, as you can see. But after 2:16 this morning, I'm sorry, 2:16 this morning, 2:16 this afternoon, 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here this afternoon, Hopper, Tennessee, in the eastern side of the Continental Divide. The southern side of the Continental Divide, Hopper, Tennessee has earthquakes. Hopper, Tennessee has earthquakes. But guess what? Guess what, guys? There's more. There's more. Georgia. Savannah, Georgia, guys, look at this. I've told you all that the Atlantic plate is pushing on the North American plate, putting us in a southwesterly direction. Look what's happened here in Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia, early this morning, 6:10 a.m. this morning, 3.2, 3.3 earthquake this morning. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake this morning. 6:10 this morning. After that, we had tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes until 11:31 a.m. this morning on the bottom blue line. On the bottom blue line, we have another 3.0 earthquake here. Now there is some question here. After 10:33 a.m., 10:03 a.m. on the black line above. You see 10 a.m. here on the left-hand side, 10:000. 10:03 a.m., this may have been a 3.0 earthquake. It's hard to tell because of the other seismic activity that happened at 10:30 and 10:45 after that. Over here, we are having earthquakes. Savannah, Georgia. Guess what? This afternoon again. Look at this. Most of this activity is all tremors and minor earthquakes, nothing more. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Largest minor earthquake we had was probably a 2.8, 2.9 after 2:45 this afternoon on the left-hand side on the green line. That, I think, is the largest. Savannah, Georgia, this afternoon and this morning. It's moving. It's moving. Now, I want to take you over to North Carolina where I live. I want to take you over Roland, North Carolina on the southeast side of North Carolina. Look here. This morning, Roland, North Carolina, southeastern North Carolina, on this red line. On this red line, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6:21 a.m. this morning. 3.3 earthquake here in Roland, North Carolina, near the southeast coast of North Carolina. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. 2.5 minutes later, 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Okay. Then after this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. After 8:20, not 8:20, I'm sorry. 8:11 a.m. this morning on the black line. 1.6 minor tremor. 1.6 minor tremor. Tremors after that here, except over on the right-hand side near the bottom green line here. The second bottom green line from the bottom. Okay? This is 10:59 a.m. this morning. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake there. Roland, North Carolina this morning. The Atlantic plate is expanding, guys. The Atlantic plate is expanding from the center. It's going like this. It's pushing Africa and Europe in an easterly direction, while at the same time pushing the North American continent and Greenland in a southwesterly direction. That's why we're getting earthquakes like this on the Eastern Continental Divide. That's why we're getting earthquakes like this on the eastern seashore. That's why we're also increasing seismic energy on the Nomad Fault. On the Nomad Fault. The interesting thing about this is, guys, the Nomad Fault is getting it from both ends. The Nomad Fault is getting it from both ends. Let me show you. Let me show you this. The Nomad Fault is getting pushed from the east by the Atlantic plate, pushing on the North American plate. But the Nomad Fault is also getting it from the west. California, Oregon, and Washington are being pushed by the North American plate. The Pacific plate and the Juan de Fuca plate. The Pacific plate and the Juan de Fuca plate are pushing the North American continent to the east here. They are subducting. They are subducting. The Pacific plate is subducting underneath the North American plate like this, pushing on the North American plate, which is causing earthquakes on the West Coast, earthquakes over in California, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, going over into Arkansas, yes, Louisiana, Missouri, Oklahoma, Illinois, putting pressure on the Nomad Fault to the west, from the west, and from the east. The Atlantic plate is pushing the North American plate to the southwest, putting additional strain from the east coast on the Nomad Fault, squishing it. Squishing it. That's why I believe this year we may see a large 5.0 earthquake on the Nomad Fault this year. But by the end of next year, we may see a 7.5 to 8.0 earthquake on the Nomad Fault. If it doesn't happen next year, it may happen the year after. Okay? Look for it. Look for it. I'm showing you all the data here. I'm showing you all the data here. Do we have any questions? Josh Kelly says they've got flooding in Indiana. Town people are stuck on top of their houses. It's coming down in his area really good. Yes, you're getting flooded there. Heavy rains and thunderstorms. May also see tornadoes tonight. I hope not, but I think you might see tornadoes tonight in Indiana. Be safe out there, guys. The entire Midwest, from North and South Dakota east, you're seeing these thunderstorms, heavy rainfall, and flooding. Be safe out there, guys. Be safe. Renee, Steffi, and Heather, Hurricane Heather, are here in the chat, putting out thunderstorm and tornado warnings and heavy rainstorm warnings and flooding all throughout the Midwest today. I want to thank Renee and Hurricane Heather for being here. We appreciate them ever so much. Appreciate our good friend Sleeping Volcano as well. She just had an angioplasty this past weekend. She needs our prayers as well. Sleeping Volcano needs our prayers, guys. Pray for her as well. Pray for Heather. Pray for Renee. She has some health issues. Even pray for me. Pray for each of us here, our EMA family here. We all need the Lord's help. We all need the Lord's help here. Does anybody have any questions for me about what we talked about today? We've talked about a lot of information today. We've been on the air a very long time. I didn't mean to be here on the air this long. We've got 51 people watching us, which is a wonderful thing. I appreciate each one of you being here with us today. God bless you. God bless you guys. We love and appreciate each one of you being here. Now, before we leave, I want to go over to Matthew in the New Testament. Here in the New Testament, the Savior teaches us some lessons here. Okay? The Beatitudes here, the Sermon on the Mount. Going here in verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. So persecuted the prophets which were before you. Then the Savior said something wonderful to us. Ye are the salt of the earth. But the salt hath lost his savor. Wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, and to be trodden under the foot of men. Don't be that way. Don't be that way. Stay in the scriptures, study the scriptures. Pray. Pray and have the Lord's Spirit with you always. That way you will stay salted. That way you'll still be pliable by the Lord's hands. Then the Savior also tells us something else. Ye are the light of the world. The city that is set upon a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a candle bushel, but on a candlestick, and give light unto all that are in the house. And the Savior reminds us something. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Let's do that, guys. Let's do that. Let's be men and women that the Savior will be proud of. Let us share the gospel of Jesus Christ with our fellow man. Let's share the gospel of Jesus Christ with our family members, our neighbors and friends. Let's do that, guys. Let's do that. Charles Helm is here with us. Charles is also a very good friend of mine. Charles, thank you for being here. God bless you, brother. We appreciate you a lot. Now, guys, we love you. I appreciate you all having been with us today. We love you very much. Love you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with us. Now, guys, if anything happens today or tomorrow, we'll be back on the air to tell you about it, tonight or in the morning. But as soon as the information becomes available, we'll be coming on the air to tell you about it. Just as soon as we get that information. That's what we do on this channel. We've told you about train derailments. We told you about earthquakes. We've told you about floods. We told you about lightning. We've told you about thunderstorms and tornadoes. Very soon we're going to see a hurricane. Very soon we're going to see a hurricane. In the past months, we talked about cyclones in the South Pacific. We told you about all kinds of things happening. Things are going to continue to happen. They're not stopping. They're not stopping, guys. May God bless each one of us. May God bless us that we might have a spirit to be with us. May God bless us that we'll have protection. May God bless us that we may have the health and strength we need to do his work. Pray for your fellow man, pray for your family members, and pray for our EMA family here. We need your prayers. We need your prayers to help keep us up. God bless you. And also, before I leave here, you see on the bottom of your screen our 2 PayPal locations where you can send us donations to our program here. Send us our program here, donations to our PayPal locations. We have 2 of them. Also, you can send us to our post office box, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina, 28655. Also, you see our email address. Send us suggestions, send us criticism, send us comments about our program. Send us to our email. Send us suggestions what you want to see in this program, we'll do it. Also, guys, after this program is over, YouTube makes a comment section just below this video. Go there and leave us positive comments about this program. Before any of you leave, please give us a thumbs up as well. We'd appreciate it. Please give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Now may God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.